Hello everyone, this is Shadow Dragon recording back on the test server. So they did put up an update. It's not quite the next episode, but they're letting us test the artifacts. So we're going to take a look at the description for all three of them, but I'm going to be playing around with the lasso since it's the one I have the most experience with. It is the tank artifact. The other two are a healing and a DPS one. So just taking a look at the description, purple healing ray is the new healer artifact. Let's see, healing charges your purple healing ray up to 5 or 4 times. Why would the higher one be 4 times though? Healing charges your purple healing ray up to 4 times your total. Yeah, that's weird. Because you see the slashes, those are like the 4 different levels. Why would the highest level be the least? Unless I'm reading it wrong. 4 times your total restoration with purple light. Once charged, your next priority heal or group heal gains new benefits and expends all purple light. So that's similar to the previous one, except it seems to work with either priority heal or group heal. I'm thinking like you'd want to always use the group heal for that. Okay, let's see what other benefits it has. Oh, okay, so there are differences. Priority heal, you and your heal target gain a shield equal to 2 times your restoration, which absorbs 10 to 20% damage income. So you see that one looks correct, where the 2 lower levels are 10 and then it increases to 20. Resets the cooldown of priority heal and group heal, and restores 20% power. So that's a lot of stuff. Lost it. Okay, so with the group heal, places heal over time on you and your allies for 8 seconds. So that's pretty cool too. That's a good buff for the group heal. And then it also resets the priority. Resets the cooldown of priority heal and group heal and restores power. Yeah, so this sounds like a pretty good one also. And it also depends on what powers trigger this, because you know, if we go all the way back to the Starheart artifact, I remember like it pretty much triggering all the time with Celestial. Like a lot more powers in Celestial will trigger that, because it's counting things as a group heal. Whereas if you go to Sorcery, not so many. So I wonder if this is different by power as well. So that should be pretty interesting. If I could find another video that tests this one, I will link to it. But I would rather like someone doing a video who's a healer as a main do this rather than me testing it. Same case with the DPS one. If I could find someone who is using this with a video, I will link to that in the description below. Okay, so Lernea's Amulet is the DPS one. So when you use a superpower, take its power cost and damage and gain a stack of offering. So this is something that's building up as you use superpowers. Increasing your might by 2 and up to 3% on the last level. Per stack up to 5 or 10 stacks. So this could potentially be a very big burst damage. So each stack increases the damage you take per cast and refreshes the duration of stacks. This is almost like an Eye of Horus, but for powers. Okay, so the third artifact is the one I actually have equipped. I purposely didn't power it up all the way, but maybe I'll continue with that after I test on the sparring targets here. So this is specific to the mesmerizing lasso, which is typically used for feats or splitting like multiple bosses, if you have like 2 tanks. But this should add a new dynamic to it because it makes the lasso act differently. So this could even be situational. So it says it no longer physically pulls the target towards you. Instead it tethers and hard taunts your target. So, I mean, it did the hard taunt before, and it would physically pull like the weaker adds, but not the boss. So, let's see, tethered non-boss targets will be stunned and dragged towards you for 5 seconds. So it's kind of like a slow pull. Additional Lasso of Truth will constantly seek up to 2 non-boss targets, and then it switches to 7. So right now I have it set to 2. It'll probably be 2 for a long time until you get to 180. So we'll take a look at 2 first, and I am interested in the 7, so I think I will test that. While tethered to an enemy, it's also going to heal you for a % of all damage it receives. So that could potentially be pretty big too, because it says all damage it receives, so that means from the entire group, not just the tank, which would almost be nothing. Okay, let's see how this thing acts. First of all, let's do this without the artifact, so that we could compare it with the classic lasso. So the lasso is just single target. It physically pulls 1. And you could do the slingshot thing where it goes over your head. And now let's get the new artifact on and see how it acts. So it's pulling the main target plus 2 others. And the main target floats towards you. So it's sort of like a physical pull, just a little bit slower. And I'm guessing like if this was a boss, he wouldn't get pulled, he would just follow. Although I wonder if it's that speed. I wonder if a boss would do that. That's just one. Okay, so we got 3 of them. 2 are close together. Okay, so you could kind of drag them along.
Oracle told me you were on the way.
You should head up. I have a separate mission for Huntress that should reduce the number of automated defenses.
Now, initially, I'm actually thinking this is not good for those feat runs where you need to separate a boss out. Because now what the lasso is doing is it's doing the overwrite on multiple targets instead of 1. Because typically, like the tank that's taking the adds would do the initial aggro, and then the tank that's pulling out the add needed, like for the feat, the one that needs to be separated out, would just do single target lasso. So this would kind of interfere with that, because now it's like a multi-pull. Although this one should be interesting to see if it moves like the ones that can't be physically pulled, because that would help in situations, say like in Dark Multiverse, you normally can't do the physical pull to like the embers for that feat, but this could possibly help in that type of situation. But it would just screw up the situations where you need to do like a boss order. And if we compare like this multi-pull versus like any other one, this one seems to be more controlled. Because like if I did the regular one for fire here, it would just pull them straight to me. But this one, you can like move, and they'll come with you for 5 seconds. So I could just move around here. Whereas like if I used a regular multi-pull, I might have to fire it 2 or 3 times to get them into this corner. So that's definitely another use for this. And here we are at Hive Master. So let's see, it's not physically pulling him, but he is slowly making his way over. So it's kind of like a hypnosis thing, which does go along well with the lore of the magic lasso. So it's kind of like an advanced kiting power. I would have to play with this like from boss to boss. It's definitely situational, but it's going to be useful for setting up the battlefield. Could be useful for some feat runs. I would actually like to try this on the Ember one, because that's the only one that pops into mind where you have like an unpullable add type. So yeah, it's definitely easier to lead him along. Alright, so I'm going to take a break and power this up, and we'll see what it looks like when it gets 7 targets. Okay, so we're back now, and I now have the lasso maxed out to 200. So now it is going to pull 7 targets, and the heal is going to be slightly better. So here's what it looks like. So yeah, pretty much the same thing, except you're going to be kiting a larger group. So again, that Ember feat from Dark Multiverse comes to mind. Grab all the embers and actually have them follow you. At least that's what I'm thinking. Alright, so that is it from Test. We'll probably see the actual Wonderverse DLC soon, so I'll be sure to cover all of that stuff. But for now, this is just the tank artifact, the Lasso of Truth. Thanks for watching.